Hi guys, Andy here, and I'm here to bring you all things mundane makeup related. If that's your vibe, I'd love it if you'd subscribe and part of my little slice of the internet. And in today's video, raspberry is back at Starbucks, so I had to get a frappe. But we have my pile of shame update for August. Here, you're a little low, because it's the first video I'm filming in August, and we got the new calendar. Next month, Blazemere's on the calendar, and I'm so excited. So if you want to see the progress that I made on the Glamlite Camp Crystal Lake palette, then let's go ahead and get into it. I had an everything bagel with avocado with my frappe. I swear I'm going to be picking poppy seeds out of my teeth all morning. So if you see a poppy seed in my teeth, no you didn't. Mind your business. But if you have not been following along with this project, I'm using Sophie Alexandra's Big Fat Eyeshadow Project rules to narrow down my collection of palettes. I'm taking a randomized palette in my collection and I'm creating approximately 1 to 3 looks. Really just depends on the size of the palette. And I'm grading it accordingly. Anything that scores a 12 out of 20 or less based on the scale that I will tell you in a second, is automatically decluttered. So the score is based on color story, versatility, quality, and personal ranking. And each of those has an up to 5 in those respective categories. So, like I said, this is the Camp Crystal Lake palette, so it's in collab with Friday the 13th. So this is what the palette looks like on the inside. I did 2 looks with this palette. I've used everything except these 3 shades right here. My first look, I used these 2 rows, and then today I used these 2. So I'll zoom in for you. And in both looks, there is one shade that I didn't love. But I will say, overall, I think that the mattes are the really nice, buttery Glamlite formula that I love. The shimmers are overall the more sparkly. They're not the, like, almost wet, Super Shock type formula, but they are the more, like, sparkly formula. This shade, the shade Camp Crystal Lake, is more of, like, it's a shimmer, but it has the texture of a matte, but it's not a sequin shade. So that was kind of disappointing. And then when it came to this look that I did, these 2 shades here are so similar. Like, yes, this one has a slight pinky tone to it, but because I used them both in the look, you couldn't really tell them apart like you could, but they're very similar. So I wouldn't advise using both of those in the same look. Not using them together, they're beautiful and they're both great, but I really think this palette could have used a red shimmer instead of a sequin and a regular matte. Like, instead of this pinky shade, we could have done with a red, or instead of this blue whatever formula that is, we could have done with a red shimmer, personally. But again, that's just me being nitpicky. Overall, I really enjoyed this palette. I loved both of my looks. So let's go ahead and we can just get into my ranking. For color story, I gave it a 5. I loved it. I'm extremely inspired because I can see several looks out of this palette, which leads us straight into versatility. So for color story, I really love this green. I love reds. This blue is really pretty. I love this brown, the pink and the silver. Color story is beautiful. For versatility, I gave it a 4 because for a 15-pan palette, it is very versatile, but again, I just explained to you the changes that I would make to make it more versatile. That would have given it a 5. But it does get a 4. Because I can see, so we have 1 look, 2 looks, 3 looks, and then you could do just a green look to get a 4th look, just a brownie look to get a 5th look, You could mix the reds with the blues, get a 6 look, so it is very versatile. For quality, I gave it also a 4. It's great. Like I said, my issue, I have the 2 issues. This being that weird, not quite a satin, not quite a shimmer formula, and the fact that these are so similar, it couldn't have gotten a 5 for me for getting fantastic, but it did get great. It is great. It's one of the better glamlite formulas that I've used. And last but not least, for personal ranking, I gave it a 5. It's 100% in my comfort zone. I love the IP because I love my horror collabs. This is beautiful. And I'm very, very happy with it. This is absolutely going to stay in my collection. Going right back in the drawer. And I'm really, really happy with it. I hopefully, here shortly, can actually use those reds and finish my No Pan Left Behind. So now I will throw up the spinning wheel because we got to see what we're rolling in for the next month, which I'm very, very excited for. So we got, dun 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 dun, the Jeffree Star Cremated palette. I hate that it's his giant face on the cover. I really do. Obviously, I have not used this yet. That's the whole point of Pile of Shame. I haven't had this very long. I think 3 months. I got this off Mercari. And this is what she looks like. I'm going to do at least 2 looks out of this. But I'm very excited to get some use on this cool toned palette as we're heading into the Burr months. I know, we're going into August. We're in August, but, you know, still. Very, very excited. And it's not all cool toned. We got some just regular neutrals in here. But I know for sure this might not be done in August. This might take August and September. Just because it's such a big palette, so I might do 3 or 4 looks if I need to stretch it out over 2 months. But that is going to do it for my August update for Pile of Shame. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.